Build the wall. We'd be stupid as a party not to stand behind him. I can't think of a better issue to define the Democrat and Republican Party than this.
I don't believe that there's any good faith negotiations to have with the Republicans in Congress if they're going to support the president doing an end run about what the will of the people, the Congress of the United States, has put forth.
A national emergency declaration is expected to face challenges in Congress and the courts. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Well, White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders issued a statement saying, quote, "The president is once again delivering on his promise to build the wall, protect the border, and secure our great country," end quote.
Back here in Corpus Christi, a man crashed into a gate barrier at NAS Corpus Christi this morning. CCPD says it all started when a woman was pumping gas around 7 o'clock this morning at the Stripes on SPID in Everhart. She told police that a man got into her car and took off. NASCC's Public Affairs Office says the man then sped through the south gate at the base. Security forces chased the man until he crashed into a barrier at the north gate. The man then got out of the car, which had caught fire. Officials say he then charged at base security. They opened fire in response. Public Affairs confirms the man was killed. His name has not yet been released.
There was a crash in Aransas Pass and now 2 people are dead. It happened last night on Marshall Lane and Highway 35. DPS says the driver of the car didn't stop at a stop sign, causing the 18-wheeler to hit it. The driver of the car, a 61-year-old, and a 33-year-old passenger killed. A man sitting in the front seat was taken to the hospital but is now on life support. The driver of the 18-wheeler was not hurt and charges will not be filed.
A couple of women have reached out to Action 10 News for help, claiming they haven't been paid for the work they did at a restaurant in Ingleside. Brenda Matudi joins us now live from Floyd's Ranch House Restaurant on State Highway 361. So Brenda, what's going on out there?
I spoke to the 2 women who say the agreement between them and the owner was that they would get paid every week. I came here this morning to speak to the owner and was told that he was not in and to call back at 2. I called back several times until I finally reached his wife, who said that the owner was not available for comment. There's no day like payday. However, for 2 working women in Ingleside, payday doesn't happen often enough.
First week I didn't get paid on time. It was probably a few days after, and that's when I started learning that other employees have been having the same experience, getting paid late or not getting paid at all or getting paid the wrong amount.
Up until last week, Madison Dickerson worked at Floyd's Ranch House Restaurant. That was until she says the owner got fed up with her asking about her late paychecks.
I was off the day they were putting out the schedule, so I called the restaurant and I asked when I was working the next day. She said I wasn't on the schedule anymore and to call the manager. So I did, and she said she hadn't had time to fire me.
By the time she was fired, she said she was owed 3 paychecks.
They had told me tomorrow. Probably about 4 days passed. I went in and they said to come back that night. I came in that night and still didn't have the checks, and so they finally just decided to pull cash out of the register and give it to me.
Brittany Downen, who currently works there, says she's behind by 1 paycheck, and she says that getting paid late at Floyd's is the norm.
There was a week where I didn't get anything at all, and then the next week I got 1 check when I should have had 2.
However, there are federal laws in place to deal with employers who pay their employees late or not at all. Under the Fair Labor Standards Act, an employer must pay their employees on time. If they don't, they could be sued for those wages, and in Texas, it could also mean legal penalties for the business. Both of the women are currently looking for different jobs, regardless of whether they're paid the correct wages they're owed. I reached out to the local police department to see if an owner not paying their employees is illegal in any way or constitutes pressing charges. He told me no. However, if these women wanted, they could file a civil lawsuit in civil court. Reporting from Ingleside, I'm Brenda Matudi.
All right, Brenda, thanks a lot. An overnight standoff started with a robbery. Police say it happened around 1 in the morning at the Embassy House Apartments. 2 people robbed a person and then showed a gun. Well, they made off with the victim's cell phone. That cell phone helped track down the suspects. When police tried to make contact with the suspects, they were unsuccessful, so SWAT was called in.
They made contact with, attempted to make contact with the suspects. When the suspects would not exit the apartment,